Hello, Rac Complaints Desk. Marama bakateka muntaito kandi sente nkukogambere ngufezi yokumalira bazimazi. Yes. Kale, hati webale muno ensonga yawe ntuija kugihondereza.
In a quarter, we look at around 300 cases from the 8 districts where we work. Actually, there are now 9.
The 9 districts cover Kabarore, Kasese, Kamwenge, Chenjojo, Ntoroko, Bundibujo, Bunyangabu, Chegegwa, and now the new district of Kitagwenda. This is where Rwenzori Anti-Corruption Coalition, popularly referred to as RAC, a citizen-led anti-corruption coalition, has been combating corruption for the past 18 years.
RAC was founded in 2002. It was an organization called Kabarole Research and Resource Center, which organized the meeting with various leaders, and they decided to rank what were the issues in the region which they could address as a community. So corruption came up as number 2, and they decided to fight corruption in the region. So they set up committees at sub-county level. These were voluntary committees where people could write letters showing expression of interest to be part of this organization as monitors.
RAC has never looked back. The thoroughness, commitment, and courage with which the organization operates has won it people's confidence, respect, and trust, becoming a formidable force to reckon with in as far as combating corruption, promoting community welfare, and service delivery is concerned. Here we meet Francis Akeki, a 5-year-old with a heartbreaking story surrounding his birth. It sheds some light on why people in Rwenzori region are attached to RAC.
Vya nduma vya mpuka kuzara tukuliyo hati unawaina dokta ya gamba yu mkazu toseme yu na kurumu mpasente ziti mpale 5 nyowe nkoleki nkutwala msheta nkusemeza nukwendo hananka hard duty na tero msei
ati munasi wakabalo ngwagamba ati boraba umunyoro sente sazini ntera dokta na kwaraki neita sazini mkazu wangu kwaraki ngamukora mugamba kanyoka nyine mitwale na sahazini amitwale 5 mbe musabire kaba ugumu koseze ukakugulize mpira bikibiki kantazina ngo bora tazina zitajwire tukumweka doki
hati nkavampuli nyine sumu yo mseija manyindo na mtere sumu mtinyatu weke noko nafu
hati no yakire manyindo
abafoto bona bakange tyokunireza kumanya rwaluru bona bayateraga na bagamba tuturo onu atelekanyiji vanasi bona bagenda mumazire kutolaga bandu kibara political patient
redal mumbere mbe bamtwera musieka wena aliyokwenda yona itulinkire kimwena ikizake mukubi na aturuki wena alimukufa
atuokyogo mseija orhango buyaterira hospital spiritenda na tera wa doctor kuruga ka mwenge nubeja nubantwara musieta beto bakasanga ndahawiro bwo kumalira.
So that is also our challenge. When we try to intervene into such a cases, obviously we go on 2 sides. Because when we intervene, the patient might automatically die in that gap of time. In fact, the family of this lady was so bitter when they started receiving calls from their family.
Hata nisimo msai John manyindo nekiteba kutwaleza hamwe tiaraka kikatuyamba mazumagala wakatukara obamazikita ham nemo basi yeija na abantu bona bali mu wodo basemezevu no kujanjaba batujanja twahika twarga hata numwana ngugu akuzi
bakasemeza bakazi bengabuli
bakabakazi nkabana
abana bakabataka kwasiruwe
bona bali bataka kwasiruweho basabiro mtwali 10-15 kandi tebazira baitu balukuru.
Health is one of the critical sectors that RAC attaches high priority.
RAC katobu yambi bakani batugambira kubi abanasi ba doctor konkati ni batwachira je no emibazi ntujitunga.
As a citizen-led initiative, empowering communities forms the basis of their operations. With about 10 full-time staffs, including the executive director, documentation officer, monitoring and evaluation officer, who also doubles as a data manager, administrator, ICT personnel, advocacy officer, accountant and assistant accountant, a research officer who also doubles as a gender officer, and a driver, RAC would not be able to cover the region with the kind of spread and efficiency it enjoys.
Monitors and activists, we have a total of 630, and these are spread across the 8 districts where we work, although there are right now 9 because of Chitagwenda.
It is this team that RAC empowers to expose and cause action against corruption in their communities.
This road is in Nyauka Town Council, on the Vujo district. So when we came to monitor it, we found being shoulder work. So I had to call the engineer, one Mr. Karamagi, and the town mayor, Fred Wilson, and the chairman of this area, Kairukiriza Kim, such that we can share experience on how this road was being done. Karamagi was, as an engineer, was like overlooking me.
Turabiyama maiso kale nga tuno bujunanizibo hakintu kandi kuno president akagamba ite nitu tunankiri tule bantu bananka bakutandika hamusingi kuhondereza nga corruption ngegi kumanya kiki kikugena mu maiso hananka hakichweka.
We wrote a report to the executive director Rwenzori Anti-Corruption Coalition, one of Yangwa Angela. She had also to take a concern and called the Minister of Ethics and Integrity.
So we have gone to Rwenzori region 3 times to go and monitor government programs.
So they usually join us here to monitor some of those cases that we failed to monitor to conclusion.
The Minister of Ethics and Integrity decided to arrest the clerk and the engineer and all the team which were involved in smuggling this money over the road. It's
like a tribunal. They can arrest. They can take action there and then.
When the cracker was bailed out, he came and redid the road on his own cost. So can see it as a success RAC is doing in the community.
It is these kinds of achievements that keep the RAC monitors going regardless of associated risks.
Rac Doc kionga kunjeta Rac Doc ikia malimani na ngi mane kukolera hangari yangu nukumukuru mukuru munse bana banje batigare mu hangari semeye
ngaibija mbenda kutunga kantu baiti kukolera kitweka kyanje kikurakuranya.
Be it as it may that combating corruption has brought them some enemies, their contribution is not entirely lost to the communities.
Sangana sukuru abusaro aliokizibu kya sitting accommodation bana banje bastamaganse baburu entebe kuro perena bana runana nenkaga werebukaika twa kisharingo na headmaster twa saramu twa sangana na bembeli begomboro basaramu kuyamba sukuru egina buyambi wentebe bakakwata contract bagireria munyoro manziro na dikibete ya kusapurainga sukuru egena ntebe 35 robo bwaikie manzi akatwara yo nanka na deski 10 asaba headmaster amwakanore jingire ngwa receiving deski shona 35. When we had that information that the sub-counter has supplied that school with 35, we went again to make follow-up. Reaching at the school, we found only 10 benches were supplied. So we wrote to the DO, notifying what happened. The headmaster decided to use his own money to have the 25 which was missing put on the school. He also added 4. Instead of 25, he brought 29.
The success spread far and wide in all the districts where RAC is operating. It is impossible to cite all of them.
RAC agerezo kumonitoringa ishomero rya Nyabuya Primary School kandi twashangira batine begesa twandikira offices z'abakura bari kwatwaho then kurugobwe bagerachi basirika begesa abandi hati bina begesa 10.
Beyond monitoring abuses, the RAC monitors are critical in lobbying for effective social service delivery.
Ekintu kirwari reri ikaba naliyo litine bakoza bari kumara naliyo tukatamwa amana mingi okurebeka ngu abakozi bayongera kukanya bakabatine ibintu bimwe na bimwe byane byetasibwa nka maternity ward nabyo tukagezo kutwara report ha LC5 na handi ubwo turi kuraba na sub county leadership nabo still irwariro hati kamara kutunga staff quarters being toilet.
15 people in a district is commendable, but not enough to fully cover the districts. With the kind of thoroughness RAC does it, the strategy of empowering communities to engage in the fight against corruption is what connects the dots.
Asize kuyamba abantu okurebeka ngu buri omwe namanyo bugabe bwe yakutunga ekizibu kyona nabasa ku reportinga omushango wa polisi nabasa kuzo mu Rwenzori anti-corruption IGG no kuzo mu offices zindi ziri kurwanira ubugabe bw'abantu.
According to the monitors, they are required to provide evidence if they have to crack down on corruption, which sometimes is a tall order.
Etumu monitoring bakubaraga evidence test. Batu tole na kizevu, tatole na smartphones.
Tweka ba monitors batu erera ye esha camera na ngiba tukana samarela bintu bindene ebitolelere habo umuntu beki twabura kutuke correct. Tukeba haba na basi tuiteje.
One good camera will be like around 500,000, 600,000. Now, if you multiply it times 63, that is how much money. But as a future, in our project, we really need to do something in that area. We look at it as a critical area because documentation for us is very key. But we encourage them to use their phone as their camera, as their whatever, because at least in one branch, there should be one with a smartphone where they are able to take this camera and share on WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp forum, which is purely for monitors.
The WhatsApp platform also takes credit for the prompt action.
When we talk about the road equipment, we're not talking little money that we are discussing, only that is being compressed in 2 machines. But each machine costs a lot. To me, it's a matter of urgency where we have to really intensify on following up this issue.
Chondo sub-county is located in Kasese district on the slopes of Mountain Rwenzori. The main economic activity is agriculture, mainly growing coffee, bananas, passion fruits and vanilla among other crops. However, it is a tall order to take farmers' produce to the market. In the absence of a road infrastructure which the bulldozer was constructing when it rolled down, this means that communities here cannot access the market. When they do, it is done in small quantities that they can carry or engage motorcycles, which does not match their production and therefore accelerating poverty levels here and the standard of living.
Is there hope to remove this machine? Is a grader. Gawindi emyaka 2 y'amabere ena han drive manyamwa abana mu butsibuki makwa michaja mbingamu niyo manzara atarakera retro racket ya masika irenje paka eriko kwe wahanu
nari muntu abera twebiro kwa butuko muntu akolisi obwesi suka twamatu nemole malem neruki kibaba tasarubye bamata satu yamba tuletero buwati chabwenda matoka eribya mata satu korecha matulemera.
The owner of the land where the machine passed through is claiming for compensation from government. That because the machine destroyed his crops where as the grader was rolling.
Netunaitero ruda ruhendeke kundi babirwa mbona masenyereza bakatuleterawo. Erera tanga ebikondo kana bikanze nguda erere mwandeke.
We go to Choho 2 village, where the RAC team wants to check the progress of Choho Bridge. Choho Bridge, which connects Nyangabu to Kasese, is an important bridge, mainly a farming community. This bridge connects them to the markets in Kasese. It is also here that they are able to access Chibito and Chibiniro Health Center. Children also go to school on the other side of the market. Construction of this bridge started 3 years ago, but it has since not been constructed.
Ruti satu. Au tukamova sabama tsuka. Bamala sesent ese bakoli. Bamayenda. Hama saband na bamayenda. Kwa sati ba robotics. Ababukolia.
With the delayed completion of the bridge, the community had to improvise, but at a grave risk.
Katwanzire bwaho twasokako. Aho bakoleri obwaborara. Hama betrato abantu basatu banimu.
Concerned community members contacted RAC, and as always, RAC did not disappoint. Immediately, RAC engaged the district, which had already conducted an internal audit. It is the district report that RAC premised its intervention to ensure that the community and government does not lose out.
One of the projects we are going to share today is the progress that has been undertaken on the Choho Bridge.
We advertised the bridge, Choho Bridge. We got 3 bidders, got 2 bidders, and the Miss Roptex Enterprises was a successful bidder at 477 million, and is the one working on the bridge now. And so far, the work he's doing a very good work. Actually, the bridge is soon completion.
Tukalengekana ya bakatuteba ambu engineer district theater mutu.
We have actually paid challenges the people are facing in those neighboring communities and even beyond. So we also wanted that bridge to be completed.
They pay work done.
What has been done?
Therefore, whatever has been done has been paid.
It has been paid.
Now the issue of the graders, you can, as I've told you, there are now 3 graders. I don't know the specific names, but there are 3 equipment that are not in use. One that fell in the downhills in Chondo. The one that is parked at Chondo sub-county for now 2 years, and that one at Kisinga Town Council also parked. For them being parked, they are not serving the district. And the fact that the district has a lot of kilometers to work on, and there is money for the mechanical interest under road fund.
Here we are only allowed to carry out minor repairs. Major repairs are handled at the regional workshop in Mbarara. And more so, pertaining the maintenance, the money that was initially released by Uganda Road Fund is too little to do anything. Because if I reflect back, some years back they used to release even 3 million, 6 million. And you see servicing a bulldozer like that one you see in Chwano could go as far as 5 million. Now if they give you 3 million and you have 4 machines, then it becomes difficult to even service a complete service for one. Carry out a complete service for one machine.
We've seen projects that have been procured centrally not taking off. And the issue of monitoring is limited because the district doesn't have any documentation on the projects that are centrally procured. So the district cannot own the project, cannot monitor the project. So the issues of decentralization, let decentralization take place 100%. Let the local governments be funded fully so that, because the service delivery is at a lower local government.
RAC has an advocacy component, and one of the factors that they have been pushing for is meaningful decentralization and adequate funding for local governments. The partnership keeps growing by the day. Interestingly, even when district officials is part of who RAC monitors, the various districts in the region seems to have struck an alliance to the extent of introducing a joint forum where they meet and review performance of the various sectors.
I have people from RAC, and there is a building that was supposed to be renovated. I think it should have been even condemned. So are you aware of the contract and the details of this building?
This is the town clerk?
She's the one. Oliver, are you still alive? I know you are new here, but you have the details.
I found when they have given 5.4 to the contractor. And
on top of 5.4, you added
5.4.
You added 2. So when he was given the 5.4 million, what had he exactly done with that money?
He told me that he only put the timber.
Do you have the contract?
The contract sum, the bills of quantities,
yes,
the agreement.
Yes, we have. But the treasurer has gone to Bundubuju police station. They have called him with all the documents. So
concerning this building?
Not everything.
But we can still get those documents at a later stage.
The following week, the joint monitoring group came back, this time with more stakeholders, and in the process, 2 people, including the engineer and former town clerk, were arrested.
RAC have helped us to understand that
At the national level, corruption is that sophisticated. At the local level, we also have their own sophistication. That technocrats no longer go to the district account and pick money, but rather internal dealings. We know now it is a syndicate.
With those volunteers, they are the ones who are being used to carry the medicines, which whenever the consignment would arrive at the facility, they were the ones whom the stores in charge was using to carry in their bags. So I tried to make sure that I stop that thing, which didn't go well with most of them, even the stores in charge. When I was away, they decided to steal the drugs, the 30 boxes of Coartem. And it was by the time when the district medicine supervisor was carrying out his supervision visits at the facility, when the stores in charge told me, you know, I found these boxes are empty. I said, how? Some other time I received a call that from the in charge maternity that Mama Kitsu had gone missing at the facility. We visited the stores. I realized the stores, I mean the Mama Kitsu were not in the store. I checked on the stock card. They had not been issued out, and there was no requisition for them. I had to write a report again. I reported to the DHO and the cow, and I gave whichever reports I was giving. I give copies to the relevant authorities, the RDCs, the DPC, the DISO, and even the chairman management plus the sub-county authorities.
He was reporting the DHO in other offices, but there was no any response.
I also started getting threats from some of the councillors.
Tinka Simire says the situation has deteriorated to the extent of mobilizing for his transfer.
He started finding ways of doing what? Fighting me so that I leave the facility.
Tinka Simire, for exposing corruption, became the bad egg and found himself isolated like he is the criminal.
They wanted to handle the case without summoning me to go and testify. But for me, since I have interest in the matter, I also got concerned. I would go there and ask, where are my summons? I want to come and testify. But that's why I even called Angela. I called Angela and told her about that. I called the Misach. I even called the State House Anti-Corruption.
There is a belief that getting rid of Tinka Simire was also supposed to help terminate the case, as he would not follow up. But having involved RAC, it had been quite hard to eliminate the case.
Working with the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity and Interagency Forum, that is IGG, Auditor General, PPDA, DPP, all those people. It has helped us really to curb down on the number of cases we've been receiving for threats. Because now people are like, oh, these people are protected by government.
We have the law which protects the fighters against corruption. We make sure that they are safe in the first place, and even in the worst of things, they have to be hidden. We even have to expatriate them, even as far as defacing somebody.
Working with the various arms of government from grassroots to national level has also helped to link the gaps between grassroots, mid-level and national.
RAC brings a collective, we call it a collective voice of civil society organizations, but also citizens at the grassroots level. This collective voice, once it is strong, then it can be able to flit at the national level.
We have other partners we work with, like KDC, it's called Kamenge Development Center. These are also organizations which are fighting corruption within their localities, in their districts, but they're also part of our organization. And then we also have other partners who are not like, they're not full partners, but we associate with them. And this is what we call the governance cluster in our region. These are people like Toro Development Network, we have KRC, Cabaret Research and Resource Center, we have Reporter, we have Coordinate, we have Ride Africa, Kind Uganda, RFPJ. There are quite a number, there were about 15, so we decided to come together in a cluster to also fight corruption as a group. Because we feel like as RAC, as much as we're doing a lot, we need to work with others.
Indeed, RAC's strength is embedded in its convening power, premised on the participatory approach that engages stakeholders, including activists, communities, CSOs, government agencies like local governments, LCs, RDCs, CAOs, technocrats, private sectors, and members of the governance cluster. This also helps eliminate gaps that provide fertile ground for corruption, where culprits take advantage of the disconnection between national administration and grassroots to exploit peasants, such as was the case in Toroko.
Betegerize ito abantu bahansi ebitongole bya government bitunyigiriza muno beitu habokuba byetegerize nguito abantu bahansi tutusomere tutuine tutule bagaiga mbamanya ngo baratunyigiriza nuntugarukiraho beito ntusima Raka muno haboko twatungira kunyigirizibwa Raka ekamalira etukwasira hamukono.
Government of Uganda embarked on plans to take running water to Ntoroko district. Chabadara village was identified as a suitable location, and as such, owners of the land where the project had been developed were contacted, necessary valuations were undertaken. A total of 580 million, according to available documents that we have seen, was dispatched, except the affected persons did not get the actual amounts.
Permanent Secretary, sentence ya sainingire okuija kukompensating ito abantu.
Milioni 5 nekinana nzinu ziri na hanu.
Milioni 5 nekinana. Permanent Secretary ya saininga. Minister of Finance ya gumia.
Hanyuma batoleka senti. Banyoleka nkanyo kalimu kagamba banyoleke milioni 5. Batere simu buli muntu bamuterire senteze nka account kugenda account nasanga batire milioni 10 na 3
zimazira kuija mukono ya abantu bakuja kukompensating zikatandika kubura ziruga mu bank zikaija kuika mu vende sente sigaire bitwe zikaija kuika mu makona go waito hanu karugutu sente zikozereke batandika kutugambira ngo design ehindukire
abandi twa bacwa mu kuzanga kandi twagamba nangu leka tuzange bitu tuziheho complain egende mu maiso
eki kikatuhambiriza kuiruka muraka kugenda kugamba ngo bantu batuyiba ntukoraki ni turora.
Rac immediately took up the matter with the urgency and seriousness it deserved.
Before Rac, I got 3M. Then after Rac interviewed, they added 1.5.
Bakaba mpaire milioni 5 ni mtwaro 10
asatu.
Beito bunairukire nagenda mukitongole kya Rac kandi nayongerwa ezindi sente zikuingana milioni 23.
One is thanks to the IGG. They are actually the ones who helped us because we reported to them and they took action.
They know the needs, they know the issues that are affecting an ordinary person at the grassroots level that can help us influence the national agenda.
The milestones such as Rac is realizing in the fight against corruption, all of which have translated to improvements in service delivery, is cause for hope. Rac has been even more impactful in the past 2 years.
We've had a lot of corruption reduction. Why? Every quarter we are in the district.
Thanks to support from the Democratic Governance Facility under RENLAP 2 project. The project seeks to strengthen Rac's engagement with the government and relevant stakeholders, which has served to realize better planning, budgeting, and monitoring of government projects, as well as more community engagements.
And even we've had a lot of prevention measures. We usually, last time we used to, like long ago, we used to have postmortem, where you would go to a bridge, maybe after a year, you find it collapsed, then you're like complaining, so and so did it. But these days, even before it happens, we're already there. So we are doing more preventive, and that is for me an achievement.
My prayer is that this is, rolled out to all the districts.
More encouraging is the institutionalizing of the fight against corruption and on foreboding communities as stakeholders championing this cause.
Nutusima Rac habo mulimo guyatukolire kandi gumizemwe gende mu maiso.